guys. Thank you for joining me today to reflect and talk about feedback from our time as a leadership team and implementing our instructional practice with Lexia and going through how it affected school culture altogether. So what I would like to do is I'd like to go ahead and just recap all of our meetings together, and then we're going to end with a survey that I sent to you guys about the implementation and how we think we work together as a team. Okay, so here we go. So again, we're gonna recap our work as a team, our collaborative skills. We're gonna talk about how we communicated, our decision-making, leadership, organization, and how we promoted a positive change in school culture. The purpose of our goal is to have all students at Pleasant Grove Middle School reading on grade level by the end of 2025, and that's our main goal of our plan. That's what we're trying to ensure. And then here are the dates from our meetings, y'all can just kind of view that, and then we're just gonna jump into it and do a recap of each of our meetings together. Okay, so this summer, we met, y'all were so nice to come in to meet with me this summer, and talk about the goal that we're trying to achieve and look at data. So what we did is we set norms, which I think we did very well. We got a communication plan together, how we're gonna communicate, which we talked about through email and text. And if you open up this that I've given you, it's even after our leadership team chart. It's called the communication plan for implementation.
Okay.
So I want to look at that, and this is what we came up with this summer. The main way that we communicate is face-to-face. Like, we have to meet in order to talk about how we're going to implement this goal. We emailed, we only did Zoom or Google Meets if one of our members couldn't attend, texted if I want to be real quick, and then everything like agendas, any slideshows, we kept in our Google Drive folder. And as always, and I have a slideshow going, which is our agenda, to keep us on track because your time is very valuable, and thanks for meeting with me during your conference planning period. Okay, so again, at this meeting, that's what we did, and then we created the leadership chart as well, and that just talks about, and we'll talk about this more later, it's about the strengths and what each member is going to contribute to the plan. We also looked at some longitudinal data, which is the end of the year STAR Renaissance data from 2022, and then we also looked at the reading language arts STAR scores as well. Again, our goal is to ensure that all 100% of our students are reading on grade level, and this aligns with our district and campus improvement plans. They both have that goal, and that's where we know it's just very important. And so then we talked about from this meeting that we're going to find the instructional practice we need to implement in order to achieve our goal. So STAR Renaissance, as you guys can see, it's on here and it's up there. The beginning of year, and this is from the end of 2022. So for 6th grade, the beginning of year, these are their reading levels. They were at 6th grade, they did at 6.8. So what that is, that's their grade and then month. Grade and month. And then 7th grade really made a huge jump and went from grade 6, 6 months to grade 7, month 2. And then 8th grade, again, but just like 7th grade, made a huge jump from 7th grade, month 3 to 8th grade, month 7. So they did it, yeah, very good from last year. And then also, this is another form of our longitudinal data that I talked about. This is the STAR Renaissance, and this is our STAR reading scores for 6 through 8. And then up there even, I have the percentage who are reading on grade level. And it goes fall, winter, and spring. And you can see the percentages. And again, we're not 100% reading on grade level, and that's what we're trying to achieve. That's what we're trying to ensure by the end of 2025. And then also we have who passed STAR for 2019 and 2021, because we didn't have the 2022 data by then.
Okay.
And then, you wanna look at that some more?
Well, I'm just noticing, I mean, in spring of 2020 to spring of 21, I mean, we increased almost 10%. So, you know, that's a good thing. And you think about, this is their first normal year. So coming back, I think that's really, I mean, 10% is 10%, you know, celebrate any positive growth. That's good.
Absolutely, I totally agree on And then we met once school reconvened, to create a survey. And what we did is, you guys know, is we created this survey to send out to all staff members, because we're trying to find out what reading skills our students are struggling with. And that helped us to, get the main needs from that survey. And I thought it was great because everybody looked at it. And then, so, I mean, cross content. So, I mean, math, science, social studies, and of course, reading teachers got to look at it and give their input. And I really think that was a very good tool. You teach math, so I mean, don't you feel like for word problems, we need to know what skills that we can help students so they can be successful.
Yeah.
And then,
Because the test is so much, it's a reading test
Oh,
almost, instead of a math test,
Yeah.
perfect.
absolutely. And then for our third meeting, we looked at that survey. We took the top 5 reading skills and we talked about those. We also looked at the Star Renaissance data again and the Star Reading scores. And then from that data, we determined that in combination with Lexia, that the instructional practice we're going to implement in our Tier 2 enrichment classes is a teacher-assisted technology-based instructional program. And this will help students master the reading skills needed to increase their reading levels. And then what I thought was so good when we planned is that we chose our group, and we chose, of course, reading teachers, but we even went further and we talked about the enrichment classes. And that's where, on our campus, we house all of our students who aren't reading on grade level. I mean, also the Tier 3 classes as well that I teach, but the Tier 2, those are the kids that are like our bubble kids that are almost there. And I thought that was just great that we chose that group in order to implement our goal.
Well, and so many of those kids came out of Tier 2 after Christmas because of their increase in their Lexia and their
yes.
reading.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they worked hard to get out of that class. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when we planned, we had to talk about, since our Tier 2 classes are short, we knew we needed an instructional practice, had to be short and engaging. And then that's where we thought about Lexia and how we could incorporate it in those classes. And then here is the professional needs survey. We'll just look at that real quick. And this is where, we got the data, the top 5 needs. Of course, comprehension is up there. Out of 14 responses, 92.9% said their teachers struggle the most with comprehension. And that is just across the board. Before, I was the reading interventionist. I also taught social studies. I mean, reading is the backbone of everything. And if we don't fix this now, then they're gonna struggle as adults, and that's just not good for anyone. So that was the one. And then our second one was teachers identified they like Lexia. We have it in our district, but people don't know how to use it. They don't know how to navigate it and how to incorporate it within their classes. So out of 14 responses, 46.2% of the teachers said they would like a PD over Lexia. And then the third need from that survey was a professional development, how to build time for independent reading, because one of our questions was, do your students take time to read independently once they finish their work or have just a little bit of free time?
Well, and going back to that second question, the professional development over Lexia.
Yes.
I mean, when you came in and taught that to the RLA team, we had no idea how to navigate Lexia and everything it had housed for us to use. And I love it. I mean,
Yes.
I love it. So you did a great job going through that professional development with us and teaching us how to do Lexia.
I mean, it's just, it's
I mean,
a
it's-
ready-made
Oh,
curriculum. I mean,
awesome.
No,
I
that's good.
agree.
That's good.
Yes, thank you for that. And then let's see here. Our fourth need was grade level vocabulary. A lot of our students don't know. I mean, and with even the social studies STAR test, they can't use a dictionary, and which I think is unfair. But they've got to know vocabulary, and that's one of the things that's going to help them pass that test. So that was one
And
of our
that's math,
Math,
science, I mean, that's
Reading,
everything.
social studies, yeah, it's everything.
absolutely.
Science, yeah.
And then our fifth need was a professional development for teachers on how to develop dictionary skills within their classroom, because, I mean, you teach reading, I'm the reading interventionist, we know that students will ask us something and we'll say, why don't you just go get a dictionary and try to look it up, and it's like they don't even know how to open the dictionary up, and that's one thing where we need to work on that as well. So that was the 5 needs that we looked at whenever we decided the professional development plan that we were gonna use. Okay, so from there, we went ahead and we decided, as I was talking about, that we're gonna we're gonna implement our instructional practice into the enrichment tier 2 classes. So, October the 12th, that's where we met with the RLA department and our curriculum coach. We met during their CTM time, and we talked about our goal of, having 100% of students reading on grade level by the end of 2025. And we talked about Lexia, and that's where we gauged their knowledge of it and asked if they would be interested. And that's where the teachers who teach the tier 2 enrichment classes said, absolutely. We're having trouble finding resources, and I was telling them how it's ready-made curriculum.
And it was there and we didn't even know it. And we didn't know how to use it. I mean, we were just given this Lexia program and no one taught us how to use it. I mean, it's really good.
It's very, very good. And then we talked about the research within Lexia,